I mean, check this out. This has just been uploaded, right? 2 weeks ago. Is it 2 weeks ago? The Green Party of England election broadcast for 2023, right? A major political party in England, right? And this is what they have made. And I actually sent them some postcards that got printed, and I actually thought they were quite nice postcards. You know, you see quite a lot from, you know, the Tories don't even need to do promo like this because they've got, you know, Morgan, the news on GB News. I mean, even I think Neil Oliver's doing more than the Green Party, but it's just it's not a political party. To me, it seems like an extension of the security state. It's almost like a left or right wing of the Labour and Tories, because all they seem to talk about are they're just continuing with this current framework. The thing is, all the things that they cover with all these travel frameworks is just exactly what the Labour and Tories are doing. Labour and Tories are like turning gradually green, which is what the Green Party are literally putting pressure on them to do anyway. But what none of their adverts have got any amazing, brilliant ideas that you thought the Green Party would be promoting. Maybe they think that people just would go on those websites, like, you know, on other green websites out of their own interest, but they're meant to be trying to get other people who aren't necessarily into the Green Party already. They're trying to get more people interested in it, and I don't think that they are doing a adequate job. Their PR is at most abysmal, depressing.
This spring, there's the opportunity to elect thousands of new councillors.
Right, this opening scene is trying to make out that, you know, we're in an urban area, right? Because they don't need to. They've already got people voting for Green, you know, in places like Herefordshire or whatever, or Scotland out in the countryside. So they don't need to appeal to those people because they already vote Green. So they're trying to get people who don't vote Green to start voting Green. So she walks around this housing estate area. I'm sorry, but this is terrible.
In England. Make them green, and here's what you'll be voting for.
Right, she just had 7 seconds, right? 7 seconds to try get people who live in urban areas to vote Green. And that 7 seconds was absolute complete waste of time. A couple of flashes of buses, which that was frankly terrible. I mean, I've been complaining about the dodgy sign writing on our buses, which have really been upsetting. You know.
In Brighton and Hove, Greens have been running the council for 3 years.
Right, so here's an example of a council that is actually, they've got a Green council, but it's at the seaside, at the coast. So straight away, it's not in the countryside. Now, if they have got safe green voting areas that you know what you call, like, you know, like Labour have got safe seats and Tories have got safe seats. I think they're kind of thinking that, oh, we don't need to really show them any more countryside because we've already got those areas. You know, they're going to keep voting Green. You know, so I don't know if they're attempting to get more people who live around the coast to vote Green, but you would have thought that the whole appeal of voting Green is now, it's very, very well known about diets and we're eating the wrong sorts of food. A lot of people are aware of it all across the internet. I mean, all these channels now, this movement, this whole Russell Brand movement, Neil Oliver movement, and the others that are also talking about of growing more food and new ways to preserve and protect. But none of that. Nothing. In fact, Neil Oliver and Verbs likely do more for promoting, you know, what most people would have thought the Green Party would try and promote than the Green Party. You know, they're not in political channels. It's almost like it's almost like the Strategic Council Planning Department have got another little minion now on the job. just the little Labour minions and the little Conservative minions. Now they've got Green Party minions.
Residents through the pandemic and the cost of living crisis.
The pandemic. We've had the pandemic. And people want to forget about the pandemic now.
Greens in charge of this city have taken this area and turned it not only into a central park.
Greens have taken control of the city and turned it into a central park. But he's standing in somewhere that looks like it's been there absolutely yonks. In fact, I've been to Brighton and I've been past that building. It's like a pretty cool building. It almost looks like some sort of kind of Indian Taj Mahal or something. It's quite nice, actually. But that where he's standing, it's not selling the fact that they've transformed something into a park. That just looks like a park that's been there donkey's years. It doesn't look like it's had any transformation at all. It's got a flat piece of shiny tarmac going through it. I mean, when you're saying the words, we've reclaimed, this city, parts of the city, and turned them green. It just looks like the park. He's stood in the park. He's walked into the park and he's saying, we've reclaimed parts of the city and made them green. But he just walked into the park, which is a park and always been a park, and he's saying that. I mean, I wouldn't mind if there were if there was some orchard trees behind him and some like that shale path or something, and something growing. I'm disappointed. I'm extremely disappointed with it so far. We're also 24 seconds in.
So an active travel corridor, making it
bikes. This guy, it's a cycle lane, but to me it looks like he's riding on the pavement. He's got his weather protection on. It's not selling the Green Party. What the Green Party is now is it's like an alternative energy. Basically, the Green Party has got nothing to do with greenery. It's got to do with trying to get vehicles over to different, electricity and so forth from petrol. It's about trying to get people to ride around and give up their freedom of transport. And it's about, literally, wind turbines and solar panels to get your main electricity on. So basically green energy. And green energy is part of a financial strategy of the government anyway, which the Tories and Labour are gradually starting to absorb anyway, which the pressure from Extinction Rebellion and Just Stop Oil on the government has been so immense that they're all turning over to green policies. So it's effectively, what have the Green Party got to offer then on that basis? Nothing. Nothing at all.
Much more simple to travel by foot or by wheel.
From delivering thousands of food parcels at the height of the pandemic to building over...
What is he doing walking down a seaside street with nobody on it? I mean, you'd have thought that, often with some people walking past, good morning, like that. I mean, at least when Tice was on there, he'd got that woman with him who was his, campaign assistant woman, and she's being all outgoing and happy. I mean, they're doing it in, the worst of weather. You'd have thought... It's almost like, the whole country is shut down and been locked down. It's almost like we're still in some sort of lockdown, and a couple of guys have gone out and, I mean, Verbs could, Verbs does about, a second, 30 seconds of a Verb video. He's more, sells more, of promoting supposedly what most people who don't vote Green. You would have thought what Green should be doing. This is not selling it to me. In fact, it's depressing so far.
500 council homes. Green councils are standing up for our communities.
We've put a
But you're not
programme...
standing up for your community. You're pottering around on the streets of Brighton, pretending to make an important election video that could, change the country forever if Greens get voted in and people switch over at a time where the Tory party is fractured in half. A lot of them have been done for various corruption things. Starmer's been in Al Jazeera. This is a critical moment where there are massive, massive movements of Dr. John Campbell. in up in the Lake District and so forth. You know, brands out in the countryside. You know, they're throwing it. Either the people who run this party are, they're meant to be young people though. That Carla Denyer is meant to be a young person. They're throwing it. They don't want to get elected. They don't. Maybe they think that, you know, people who already like Green Party and already vote Green Party, you know, they're into allotments and going on channels and into Nature and Chris Packham and so forth. I mean, one episode of one episode of that BBC Chris Packham programme probably is more of a promotion for voting Green. I reckon people who watch Packham are more compelled to vote Green than anyone watching this. It's just, and then when you get the leaflet through, you know, from Ardcastle or whoever, we're going to be a new vehicle weight thing and a speed camera. And then, you know, Vobes has just gone to a massive whole community farming thing to, you know, try and get the community together and reclaim massive areas of countryside to protect it from, you know, houses getting built everywhere.
Together to keep tackling homelessness. We've also developed a fund to help people to heat their houses and to tackle the...
There's nothing wrong with helping homeless people. That is great. But I just don't think that her walking on the promenade with that mac on, saying that is going to get people to vote for Green Party. They'd have been better, actually. She's not with any homeless people to make us feel like, you're meant to make me feel like I need to care about homeless people. I want to do something for them, and maybe that's why I should vote for Green, right? So why aren't you at some sort of, you know, place where they're giving out food? At least Rishi Sunak. I mean, Sunak was doing more promoting for homeless people when he was giving out bacon sandwiches.
Cost of living crisis. We've prioritised...
This whole thing about maybe Kwasi Kwarteng is right. Maybe Kwasi Kwarteng is correct. Maybe Kwasi Kwarteng is, you know, like, Boris is a brilliant campaigner. Maybe he is. Because this is not brilliant campaigning from the Green Party. Or maybe they're all just terrible and Boris is like about the best as you can get out of them. And
listening to the views of young people. That's why we're building youth centres, rebuilding playgrounds, and have ensured that young people can travel on our buses for just 50p.
Because that's what you get.
Travel on the buses for 50p? But what type of buses are they? Actually, though, you know, buses are better than bikes, but here, you know, they don't even want you to get on the buses.
It's for a green vote. Hard-working people who get things done, working with you to build fairer, greener...
This does not sell hard-working people who get things done. This is a couple of Green Party buddies, you know, going out for fish and chips in Brighton, and then some of them says, I'll get my camera phone out and we'll do a bit of filming like for Green Party promo, the official Green Party election promo. Sweet God. Verbs, help, please. I mean, I don't really know what Chris Packham would say to this. I mean, Chris Packham appeared on Extinction Rebellion on one of the Sky News for about 15-20 seconds and probably gave more reason to vote for the Green Party in that. And he mentioned the Green Party, but it was just they're kind of like doing some sort of guilt trip on, you know, all these issues, but they're just pouring around and walking them down. It's just ridiculous.
Communities.
In mid-Suffolk, residents are sick of the usual suspects running their council. That's why
They're sick of the usual suspects running the council. We've just got a leaflet through, right? You know, the two... Well, we've got the parish Green councillors and then another Green councillor and then there's someone else. We've been trying to get him for donkey's years. And they put a flyer through for a new camera to check out HGV weight, number plates, and a speed camera. What's that got to do with the Green Party? Oh, just a minute. The local council are already going to do that anyway because they're expanding the speed cameras anyway, and they're putting more security state recognition and cameras around anyway, no matter who you vote for. And they've already got Green Party parish councillors in who can do that anyway. So, the guy who's been trying to get in on the Green Party council for the last, 5 to 10 years, he's trying to get into the main council of Green Party. He's literally pushing two things that the council are going to do anyway, whether we like it or not. Primarily what the police want, the police are pushing, and the strategic planning of the council, which is the highways department. So literally, a guy who claims he's for the Green Party, then he says, I'm not tied to Green Party headquarters, I'm not tied to him. So why are you running as a Green Party candidate then? Why are you running as independent? It goes from bad to worse, and now they're just saying they're not promoting they're not promoting things that the government, local council are pushing, but that's wrong because the guy's posted a thing through saying that that's what he's pushing. So on this advert for the Green Party election broadcast, spring 2023, they've just lied and said they're not pushing council agenda things.
Hard-working people who get things done, working with you to build fairer, greener communities.
In
But
mid-Suffolk,
they're not doing anything they're not showing or demonstrating anything to build green communities. Verbs has just gone on a programme and literally sunk the Green Party. Verbs himself might as well be like the Green Party because he's doing, but the thing is, the Green Party themselves aren't actually getting people. They're actually getting people to not vote for Green. In fact, Verbs has had alternatives on, such as Heritage Party and the Love Party, and also he's been saying don't vote for any of them. I'm not surprised. In fact, Verbs is saying, I think the message of Verbs channel is basically, screw the Green Party. We can do more ourselves. We don't need them. We can do more than the Green Party can do themselves, even when they're funded and putting adverts out. That's the message. It's like, don't vote for Green Party, don't vote for Lib Dems, don't vote for any of them, don't vote for Tories or Labour, because we ourselves, we don't need them, and we can do it ourselves, and why should they have our vote? It literally sunk this advert.
residents are sick of the usual suspects running their council. That's why.
What? When the Green Party councillor has been trying to get in for the last 5-10 years, his best offer he's got, posting through the letterboxes, to help strategic planning department and the local police force. Which is what they're going to do anyway, whether he gets in or not. And if he doesn't get in, then the local parish are going to do it anyway. What a joke! We're actually being mocked by these people.
More and more people are now voting Green here, so much so that we hope to be running the council from May.
In mid-Suffolk, we've delivered new cycle paths and new footpaths. We've delivered...
How do you deliver a new cycle path and a new footpath? That's not green either, that's tarmac. Green is plants and shrubbery. It's more and more urban development, basically.
cheaper, greener homes with insulation and with heat pumps.
Cheaper, greener homes. They're trying to appeal to Insulate Britain here. But what do you mean cheaper, greener homes? People have already got homes, we're going to build some more houses, basically. What she's saying is that they're going to pledge to build so many brand new houses, but they're going to be green ones, but you're going to have them when we like it or not, and we're likely going to build them in green areas because they ain't going to build any new houses there. In fact, we're 1 minute 33 in. Show me anywhere here they're going to build any new green homes compared to where anything's existing. There's no space to build anything. Right. Epic fail. Failure. It's not just a failure. It's infuriating, it's depressing, it's insulting to the human intellect.
Cycle paths and new footpaths. We've delivered cheaper, greener homes with insulation and with heat pumps replacing gas and oil boilers. And we've developed plans for electric buses and for affordable rents for small businesses.
Are the comfy electric buses there? And are there these dodgy ones that just stop and then it just shuts off and it's really uncomfortable? You know, how about we've actually been speaking to bus developers and we're going to make them design better buses that are very comfy and people really will want to use them and get on them, that are not annoying or brainwashing people and good for the environment as well. In fact, we are going to demand that buses completely revolutionise their designs because frankly what they're offering us is an insult.
Town centres. And of course, we've saved ancient trees and those green spaces that are so valuable to us all.
But why? But if you'd saved ancient trees, why wouldn't you cut to a scene where you could show us some and show us how beautiful it is? Because frankly, that is just a urban area. Although you know it is an urban area that they should keep. You know, we're lucky that they haven't banged any houses where she stood there, filled it and packed it as much as they can, but it's still not, you know, I don't think that this is really selling the Green Party.
If we get more Greens elected to the District Council in May, we want to put communities back at the heart of the...
Who designs this? This is meant to be a proper political party that's actually been quite long established, and they've got members of parliament. The Lib Dems have got members of parliament. Lib Dems have got members of Lords. I don't know if there are any members of Lords in the Green Party. It's just, do you know what, right? You would have thought that a proper official political party, I mean, I know the Tories have got millions and so forth, and Labour, you know, but it's not cutting the mustard when you've got, to be honest now, all these independent channels are talking about, all these things they're talking about are being pushed anyway now by major channels who get a lot more views than this channel. I mean, there's only 1.3 thousand people subscribed to this channel. I mean, so it effectively is a complete waste of time. I mean, you'd have thought that they'd have, you know, been popping up on some of these other channels. Maybe they don't want to have them on. Because a lot of the channels that support green policies are actually not even supporting the Green Party, because they don't actually think that the Green Party are necessarily the answer, because they actually think that the Green Party are as bad as the government. It's just like, you know, it's just the worst idea.
Decision-making process for planning. We've seen thousands of new homes approved over the last few years, and yet communities are often left waiting for the infrastructure they need. Meanwhile,
so they're not actually protecting the countryside. They're not protecting greenery in green areas. They're basically wanting to bang more houses up, just like the other parties. So the Green Party isn't really wanting to promote and protect countryside and encourage people to do growing plants and allotments and so forth. They're actually basically wanting to assist. It's basically a support. It's basically a support party to catch and scoop up any rogue voters who won't commit to either Tory or Labour. You know, any little like loose votes they're going to scoop up. You know, to make sure you know they don't actually try and get them to vote. Why are they sat on a park bench while they're talking about that? Or why are they stood there? It's just the worst advert ever.
the council is sitting on a pot of money they've collected from developers, and we will ensure that money is...
Maybe they're trying to sell it to, you know, people who, you know, don't really have any countryside around them or anywhere nice at all whatsoever. But I don't think that it's going to work. I just don't think people in Liverpool are going to vote for Green Party because of this advert and because they're stood in sort of places sort of like this. I don't think it'll work, given the fact they've only got 1,000. Oh no, 30. Sorry, they've got 13,000, but that's not a lot. 13k is not a lot to consider it's a major party.
to work.
Because when you vote Green, you get people who know your area and your communities.
There's so many Green Party Facebook groups, but they're all separate ones. But whenever you go on there, you all get hassle. You get quite a lot of people who are quite authoritarian. You can't post this, you can't post that. and a lot of them are like, oh, you should already know this, you should already know that. They're all kind of like, you know, eco geeks on all of the solar panels and everything like that, and all the environment that, you know, and then if they expect that you have to be a boffin as well on it.
Who listen and put your priorities at the top of the agenda to make things fairer and greener.
I really think that with these 13,000 people on this, I don't think they're going to get any new votes because no one's going to see it. If you subscribe to this channel, you're likely to either vote for Green Party or Lib Dems, I would have thought. I'm not even subscribed to it.
In Leamington Spa, the cost of living crisis has hit hard, with public services run down to dangerous levels.
Greens are working hard, solving practical problems, bringing people together and getting things done on time.
Hit hard. How can they talk about being hit hard when, you know, they've got people like Fergal McEntee, who's meant to be a Green Party councillor or trying to get into Green Party councillor for Putney, and they've been blocking roads off, you know, being criticised for getting in front of ambulances, gluing themselves on. In fact, they've actually ended up causing the entire country to have its rights threatened to be taken away. And, you know, blocking oil rigs and, you know, all other sorts of things. I think the Extinction Rebellion, to be honest, have done more promo for green movement anyway.
They're also bringing the communities together, like Hindu and Sikh communities are celebrating the festivals together. And I think this brings a positive hope for the people of Leamington.
This guy, why do they have to have a guy who's had a couple too many pies? Like, no offence to him or anything, but, you know, why didn't they say, you know, we want to encourage people to, you know, eat less junk food. We want to encourage people to grow more of their own food. We want to encourage people to eat healthily, nuts and berries and, you know, leaves, because, you know, our focus and attention has been affected. You know, things like what Tim Spector's saying. Oh no, they won't vote for us if they say that. Well, how are you going to rescue them then? We're not going to save anyone. We're going to save you all from your sins. No, we're not actually. We're just going to try and, you know, do the worst attempt ever to sway a couple of votes. You know, like maybe, you know, like the least negligible number of votes to. It's, you know, it's a lost cause.
I've volunteered for the Green Party for over 8 years now. I've seen the progress the party has made, especially here, locally.
There is no progress. No one votes for it. No one votes for the party. Nobody votes for it. It's not made any progress at all. None. In fact, the only progress that is made is that the only progress that has actually happened is that the Tories and Labour and Tories have been forced to adopt green policies, in which case there's no point in voting for Green Party because everyone thinks, oh, okay, we're all having to go green whether we like it or not. And that's the way that Tories and Labour are going. So why the frick would have voted for Labour? Why the fuck would have voted for the Green Party? They don't have anything different to offer because, you know, they don't.
In Leamington Spa, where our Green councillors are working really hard to ensure that local people are effectively represented.
Because a green vote is a vote for action.
Not effectively represented. 1/3 of people do not vote. 1/3 of people do not vote at all. And they're extremely unlikely to vote because of this video. And the fact that, you know, anyone who votes for Labour are adopting green policies anyway. The government have brought a lot of green regulations in. So, to be honest, this Green Party is an absolute, in my opinion, for what this Green Party have got to offer, it's not really a Green Party because, you know, there's enough pressure groups now that have, you know, the government is actually forcing us to go on all these, you know, things gradually. So therefore, what is the role and point in the Green Party? Absolutely none at all. They want to be doing other different things. You know, where actually there's a lot of people in this country now who have actually wanting to protect and save the areas and use them to help other people out and not actually, support and advocate all these McDonald's and KFCs and Subways, all these food places which are literally killing us. Yet these Muppets are walking around in areas exactly around where those places are, walking around the town and the parks, which is why the people in there are not the healthiest of people. It's just the worst example. The advert needs to be the vision, the example. Not this is what you can have. This is what it could be like, without winding everyone up. Who don't live in the countryside. But what can the countryside offer those people? That video that I've just put before, they're offering to help other people and get them involved, not just walk around the parks with their hands in the pockets.
Real, tangible steps that help people out day to day.
We all want fairer, greener communities, but they don't just happen. Across the country,
this is nice.
They're being built and...
It's not the best. It's not the best camera recording there.
Greens are winning in all kinds of places.
But they're not there. They're not winning there. They are not winning.
City centres to rural villages, coastal communities to market towns. People can see that we're hardworking, practical, and are standing up for what's fair and right.
But they're not. If you wanted to show you hard working, why don't they do a picture of them, giving out for, veg packages or something with Roger Hallam if he wasn't in prison? If they'd have had Roger Hallam when he was delivering fruit to people and veg or something in his van, although he can't at the moment if he's still in prison, but, at least, I don't know who's taking over his business for him while he's away. I don't know, I think they've changed all his locks in his house. No one's going to be helping him, but there's got to be other people who are doing that as well. They should have had, some fruit and veg. Those women who were on Verbs the other day, those women who were on Verbs are doing a community project to help people get food out. Something showing their little thing. It's just 3 minutes 26 seconds.
If you want more of that where you live, vote Green on the 4th of May.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. The worst waste of time ever. I don't even know, the party's finances must be worse. They must be worse than what you imagine. I don't even know what the Tories do with all those millions that get donated, because all they end up doing is, sending Boris to shear sheep and pull pints, but it works. Like Kwasi Kwarteng says, Boris is the best campaigner. Well, no, he's not. He's crap. But they're all rubbish. But Boris, out of an assortment of terrible campaigns, Boris is the best that he can get, which is not good. Just terrible. They're absolutely terrible, and that what they posted through our letterbox was an insult. It actually was an insult. It's not serious. They're not going to get anyone to vote for them. They're not. I think